And welcome to another exciting edition of the Brother Marcus, Sister Cecilia, and the Marriage Keeper Show. I'm one half of the team. I'm Brother Marcus, and I'm so delighted to welcome you all to the show. And I hope that you all are in the best of health and spirit. Assalamu alaikum to you. And certainly my hope and prayer is Allah, in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, will bless us tonight as we talk about the topic that we're going to talk about responsibly. And we're going to also be very mindful of the state of where we are in America and with friendship. We're going to talk about that very strongly tonight. And I'm very happy that God has blessed me with a beautiful wife and queen who will be along in just a moment. We are really very thankful to Allah. We want to let you know that we are looking forward to so many different things by the grace of God. One of which is our marriage retreat that's coming up very soon, and that's on April the 15th. No, excuse me, not April. Excuse me, August 15th. August 15th through August 19th. We'll be in Brooklyn, New York, and we're going to have a wonderful time with our ministers there. We expect next week to have Minister Tony Muhammad will be joining us live on this show, and so you should listen in because that's going to be a very powerful show. Help me spread the word because I can't do it all by myself. Please go to your social media page when you see our posts out there. Let folks know what we're doing and that we're striving very hard to get them on board. We're asking you to help us by just reposting what we post, and that will get it to the people quicker and faster, and thank you very much for doing that. We are doing this marriage retreat, and it's going to be so powerful. We expect Minister Abdul Hafiz Muhammad. We expect Minister Henry Muhammad also to be with us as our special guest and friend of Brooklyn, New York. And so if you come, you're going to have a delightful time. But it's only for spouses. It's only for you and your husband, you and your wife to come to no children. Please don't bring any children to this particular marriage retreat. This is going to be about responsible adults. We already got folks paying. We're going to be sold out. I guarantee this is going to be a sold out retreat. And we thank Allah for that. Thank you all very, very much for being with us as we are striving very hard to help marriages in 2019. Minister Farrakhan has given us the order that he wants to see strong marriages in the Nation of Islam. He wants to see strong marriages among black people. Well, this is one of the ways that we try our best to do this, and we're very happy to announce tonight that we're going to be going to St. Louis. For those of you who are in the St. Louis area, we will be coming there, God willing, in June. The flyer will be posted in just a few minutes. We are ready to come there and have a wonderful time with the believers and the people of St. Louis. And we're calling on Cincinnati. We're calling on Indianapolis. We're calling on all of you beautiful cities to come and support our sister city in St. Louis. It's going to be a beautiful occasion for us to be in the building. Okay, our sister C is ready right now to give us some words of wisdom and guidance. Welcome, Sister C. Assalamu alaikum. How you doing, ma'am?
Assalamu alaikum, family. Thank you for tuning in tonight, taking time out of your busy schedules to participate. It is indeed our honor and privilege to have you join us tonight. And we are just excited because, like I said, by God's grace, once you find what your gift and talent is to contribute to the world, that is when you are able to utilize it. So by God's grace, we have found that our gift is helping those who we want for our brothers and sisters, what we want for ourselves, and that is to strive to have healthy, happy marriages with healthy, happy children growing up to make children of their own. So we are indeed honored and privileged and just excited about all that is ahead of us to do and what we're desirous to do, and looking for those who are wanting to do the same thing, which is help to build a strong nation, the kingdom of God on earth, because we know there's no heaven in the sky and no hell under the ground. It's all conditions of our mind, and that's what we have to work on, our mind and our self-development, and of course, first and foremost, our connection to Almighty God Allah.
Wow, that's so very true. I mean, sisters and brothers, I don't know of any other way to say that as perfectly as Sister Saya has just expressed it. We're trying to help you see that the kingdom of God is, as the scripture said it is inside of you. And you got to use your hands, you got to use your feet, you got to use any resource that is available to you to bring this kingdom of God out of you. And when you do, you're going to be very blown away at what Almighty God can do for you. I'm just so thankful that God is still in the blessing business. I don't know what you're going through as you listen to us tonight. I don't know if it's over with you and your husband, you and your wife. I don't know if you're thinking about letting it go. We provide counseling all over the nation of Islam, trying to help couples to keep it together and not go off the deep end. And we are very asking you to please help us to do that. We're trying to help you to have a good relationship, and you can have a good relationship. We want you all to know that you can do it, but we want you also to know that it's going to take work in order for you to have the type of relationship that you want in 2019. A lot of people don't want to work for their marriages or their relationships. They don't want to work. They just feel like it ought to have happen for them naturally and without any kind of work. And that's just not true, is the sister saying?
No, absolutely not. A marriage takes work, and that's what mostly happens. The family, excuse me, there's difficulties and challenges in the relationship, and we put the relationship on the back burner and wonder why we grow apart. Our marriages, after, like it says, God, family, nation. So our family is most important, really, before everything else after God.
Wow. Lord have mercy. And when you really think about that, brothers and sisters, that's so revolutionary to think about, because we've never had a relationship with God at all. You know, we've had this foster relationship with God. This slave master imposed his will on us, and we knew God through the slave master. And so we related to him. We called on God through the slave master. We called God slave master. And so the slave master was our God. And so this is very difficult when you really think about it. And so this brings us to tonight's topic that we're going to deal with. And I want you all to really strap in your seatbelts, because we really want to talk about this. Is a spouse permitted to have very close friends of the opposite sex? That's a very deep discussion that we have. And we have a few questions already on it from people out there who are listening to our show and have wrote already to us about this topic. I don't know if, you know, we had Brother Jamil on, and Brother Jamil said something very powerful. He said that if you have a friend and the friend that you have is not a friend to your marriage, it's not a friend to your husband or your wife. Your husband or wife don't know nothing about this person that your husband is friends with or your wife is friends with, then that's not a good thing to have. You know, and I'm inclined to think like that, because, you know, a lot of us claim we have friends with people, but you got to really think about the fact, is your friend a friend to your marriage? That's a good question that you have to think about in 2019. And a lot of us, again, we claim we have friends. We claim we have friends. But again, the question remains, is your friend a friend to the marriage? So say, what do you think?
I mean, it definitely agreeing with what you just said, that once you become married, whatever friends that you might have had that were your friends, if they're not a friend to the marriage, if, like you say, you have dinner or go out to eat, and those type of things where friends do, if you do that with that opposite sex friend outside of your marriage partner, and you're like, well, I've known this person. You hear people say, I've known them since, we used to bathe together in the same tub,
Yeah.
or we met each other in elementary school, or, people who you may have known you way before you even got married, then that person should become a friend of the marriage. And like I said, that because, again, we know that with a friend, you tell things to, you discuss things about. So again, it's really is that person helping the marriage in the sense of that, you bringing that person into your relationship.
That's so powerful.
And then how deep does that? And then how deep does it go? Because again, if you a new wife, a new husband, and your wife or husband has had a best friend of the opposite sex, most people that's not going to settle with, because they're new to you, and it's uncomfortable to be around somebody that's known you longer than they have. Because what happens, you get upset with your husband or your wife, what do? You go call your friend, you go talk to your friend. I'm going out to drinks with my friend, but your friend is the opposite sex.
So is that a problem because they're opposite sex?
Yes, that can become a problem.
All right, let's talk about how come it can become a problem.
Because of with that, when you say that's your best friend, you have an emotional attachment to that person.
Okay.
So if you have a wife or a husband and you're not emotionally attached to them, but you're emotionally attached to this, or even if you say, well, we're not physical, we have never had sex or nothing like that, but the point is you are sharing an intimate part of yourself with someone that's outside of your husband and wife.
Okay, and what is that called?
Emotional attachment, intimacy. That's intimacy. This person can look into you and see because they've been around you for so long. So there is a deeper love, a deeper connection to that person.
Wow. So we have to talk a little bit about emotional infidelity, because a lot of us, we don't necessarily want to be honest about this, but what you just said is very powerful. You have to think about emotional infidelity, and a lot of people do. Well, what is that? What is that, Brother Marcus? Emotional infidelity. We're going to talk a lot about that at this 9th annual marriage retreat that we got coming up, because emotional infidelity is, and you got to be very mindful of an emotional affair that you have with this person. An emotional affair generally starts off innocently enough as a friendship. But through investing emotional energy and time with someone outside the marriage relationship, the former platonic friendship can begin to form a strong emotional bond, which hurts the intimacy of the spousal relationship. There have been a lot of marriages destroyed because you got a strong emotional relationship with another woman, other than your wife. There's a man in your life right now, you got a very strong emotional affair going on with him. And while there are those who believe that an emotional affair is harmless, most marriage experts, they view an emotional affair as cheating without having a sexual relationship.
Exactly.
Emotional affairs are often gateway affairs leading to full-blown sexual infidelity. And about half of such emotional involvements do eventually turn into full-blown affairs, sex and all. That's something you got to think about, brothers and sisters.
And again, it's going to the nature in which you are the nature of a man, that you are physically attractive to somebody. So if you are physically attractive, and we be honest, we have to be honest. The person that's your best friend, that's the opposite sex. You never kissed. You never took it to another step, saying to yourself, well, if we can attach on this level, we might can. It was never any, if anyone can say that never happened, all praise is due to Allah. But the reality is, most of the time, we might have tried it and said, it's best for us to be just best friends, because it ain't going to work with us being, boyfriend or girlfriend or husband and wife. Let's just stay being best friends. Because most of the time, you wind up marrying a person who was your best friend.
Lord have mercy.
She was my best friend. He was my best friend. So we got married. And then they like, well, we got divorced. It's best for us to stay friends than husband and wife.
That's deep. That's so deep. And I mean, so many people, you just don't know how vulnerable you are emotionally until somebody is talking with you and they're able to see into you. People can see into you. Brothers can see into you. Women can see into you much more than you might think. Much more than you might want to admit. There's something that you I don't know if it's something you're giving off. I mean, what is it that a person is giving off that lets somebody know that they are emotionally vulnerable? What is it you give off? Is it a scent? I don't know. What is it?
A scent.
I don't know.
Again, it's like, what was it? It was a show. Maybe I think it's the Chris Rock show.
Okay.
With the guy upstairs who was the tenant, and he ran a funeral home or worked at a funeral home. And he was like, oh, I'm going out on a date. And they're like, wait a minute, you're dealing with dead people. How do you have time to date? And he was like, that's where I find it. Vulnerable women who are dealing with death.
Wow.
When you are at your lowest, or you're grieving or in pain or hurt, and someone comes and rescues you, you are vulnerable at that point if that person is not wise enough not to take advantage of that situation. But most of the time you have people who prey on those type of situations. Oh, this is my time to fly in here and be her hero, or vice versa. Me his hero.
That's right, because it could be both of them. It could be that it's not just that brothers can be vulnerable, but women can be vulnerable too to this same thing. And I know you talking about your friends, and this is my friend, ain't nothing gonna happen, but you never know how vulnerable you are with a person of the opposite sex. And this emotional affair is so deep when you really look at it, because an emotional affair is when a person invests, not only they invest more of their emotional energy outside their marriage, but they also, this is the part that gets you, you also receive emotional support and companionship from the new relationship. In an emotional, this is deep, in an emotional affair, a person, listen to this good, a person, your spouse, they feel closer to the other party, and they may experience increasing sexual tension or chemistry. And if you believe that a person's emotional energy is limited, and if your spouse is sharing their intimate thoughts and feelings with someone else other than you, an emotional affair has developed. I want you to think about this, because this is something that we're going to have to deal with if you want to be honest about this topic, because some people just say straight up, no friends. I want you to have no male friends, no female friends. We just going to be together, me and you. Is that good or bad?
Again, it's the two people, the husband and the wife. But again, everything with marriage is to protect the fabric of that relationship, to protect anything that's going to cause a problem in your relationship to that magnitude. Because again, if you're a husband and wife and you're growing to learn each other, it's hard when you have someone else who, it's just like a person that says, if I get mad at you, I can run to my mama house, so I can run to my auntie house, so I can leave you and go to this person's house because you get me upset. I have someplace else to go. And that's the same thing when you have a close friend. Now, of course, we got close friends that are of the same sex. Okay, that's more doable. But when it's the opposite sex, then that's more dangerous because, again, some of your and really, like I said, a lot of your emotions are going towards that other person.
That's so deep. And many husbands wonder, why is my wife not emotional with me anymore? Maybe because you pushed her away. Maybe because you killed that part of her.
Or it never developed because you already emotionally attached to somebody else.
That's so deep. Where are the emotions at in your marriage, in your relationship? You got to be very mindful. If you're courting someone, does he have emotions that he shared with you, or is his emotions directed towards some other sister, some other man? I'm asking you tonight, where are your emotions directed to? Who is hearing them? Who is experiencing them? Is it your courtship partner? Is it your husband? Is it your wife? Who is experiencing you emotionally? That's so deep.
And see, this again, because of blended families. You are going to be emotionally attached to the mother, the father of your children. You know, it may not be as strong because you're not together, but there's still some kind of an emotional attachment that is there. You produced a child together. So again, that comes into how it's properly handled, even in that instance, because again, sometimes, a lot of times, the ex-husband or the ex-wife may still love you. They may have had a thought in their mind that we were one day going to get back together. So there's still an emotional attachment there.
Have mercy.
You see what I'm saying? It's an emotional attachment because that person still loves you, but you have moved on. You have remarried. So now that you remarried, now we have to handle it in such a way where we're protecting our new marriage now, where it is not just, we're going to do this together, or you see what I'm saying? It has to be purposeful, strategically done so that the budding new relationship can grow, even though we had prior existing relationships.
Man, that's so...
And it takes that magical word, maturity.
It takes maturity, a lot of maturity.
Because if you're very jealous or very envious, then for some men, they can't take it. They cannot take it, and vice versa for us as women. We cannot take it but so long, but it's how we handle it, to say like co-parenting. We're both of us are rearing our children, co-parenting the child. You see, so again, that's another way where we could be emotionally attached to someone else outside of our husband or our current husband or wife.
That's so deep. When you're co-parenting, you think that it's all right, but maybe he's starting to fall back in love with you. He's starting to feel like, I seen her eyes. I know her eyes. I know that look she give me. She give me that look like I know what that look mean when she give me that look. Or vice versa. You could be saying about him, you as ex, but you might be saying about him that, when he smile like that, I know what that smile mean. You could be sending mixed signals in your relationship, in your time with the man or with the woman. You might be sending them some mixed signals about your intentions, and that's so very powerful. I want to talk about this last little thing, that emotional affairs, and here are some warning signs that you may be having an emotional affair on your husband or on your wife.
Listen.
You are withdrawing from your spouse. You're withdrawing from him or her. Because this new person is in your life. Your husband, your wife don't know nothing about them at all. They don't even know what you're doing with them. They don't know how you feel when that person's name is said. Oh, you get a little rise? out of you when that person's name is said around you? What is that doing to you? Does your spouse excite you anymore? Do you get a little rise when their name is said? No. You might be dead when their name is said. Oh, so shoot, that don't mean nothing to me. That's something to think about. Here goes another one. You are preoccupied and daydream about your friend more and more. Every other sentence, every other statement that's made, you're thinking about him, you're thinking about her. I wonder what they're doing right now. You start imagining yourself on different dates and whatnot with them. This person that's foreign to your marriage. Here's another one to think about. You are not interested in being intimate with your spouse, either emotionally or sexually. We've met couples who have gone as long as 3 years and they did not touch their spouse sexually at all. But he wasn't connected to her emotionally either. When you really think about it, that's so powerful. You have a spouse to be intimate with, but you don't really want to be intimate with them anymore. What's going on with you? What's going on with you emotionally and even sexually that you don't want to have relations with your spouse anymore?
Well, remember now, for women, it starts emotional first.
Wow, Lord
So
have
if
mercy.
you ain't emotionally connecting to your wife, no wonder she always got a headache.
Wow. We're going to talk about that one day, the headache. Because Lord knows, y'all, I've been through some headaches. I know what headaches will do. You know, I've been through that phase of my life. You know, Lord, long time. I mean, got a headache every night. Damn. Every freaking night a headache. And I mean, I be, you know, shoot, I be like, you know, well, let me leave that alone. Okay. All right. Praise belongs to Allah. I'm just saying to y'all.
You're so crazy.
That you don't need a headache every night, sister. Brother, you don't need a headache. If you got a headache every night, something's going on with you. I mean, honestly, you got to really think of what I'm saying to you because that's so deep. You know, here goes another thing. The amount of time you and your spouse spend together is less and less. You don't even want to be around your spouse anymore when you're having an emotional affair. And when you are confronted about the apparent emotional affair, you respond, "We're just friends." Why are you worried about that for? That ain't nothing you need to be worried about because we just friends. Really? How come your wife is picking up that you all it ain't just friends activity? Maybe you doing something, maybe your wife is so smart, she picks up. And she'll tell you, if you got a good wife, she'll tell you, leave that one alone. She don't, you say, well, we just friends. She know because she's a woman. And she can pick up stuff that's going on in your chemistry there. You and that girl, you and that woman, y'all got a certain chemistry and your wife can pick something up.
Or husband.
Or husband. Husband can pick it up too. Your husband might tell you, you better leave her alone. You better leave him alone, rather. He just saw y'all interact briefly, just for a few seconds. He know, oh, okay, I can see what's happening here. Leave them alone. Leave them alone. And sometimes you think your husband is stupid. Your wife is stupid. They don't know what's going on, but they know. They got a built-in sense inside of them that something is happening and they need to correct it. Quickly. I hope y'all enjoy this, because I'm certainly enjoying giving this to you tonight. You find yourself anticipating when you can communicate or be with your, watch this word, your friend again. Alone time together is important to you both. That's deep.
They're going out together without their spouse.
Man, that's so deep. An emotional affair has developed. I'm telling you. And some of y'all might be mad at me tonight. You might be mad at Cecilia tonight because we're talking about emotional affairs. We're talking about friendships when you got friends outside of your relationship with a man, with a woman, and you might already be involved with an emotional, and it might have turned sexual. It might have turned sexual already. You find reasons to give your friend, quote unquote, personal gifts. And your friend seems to understand you better than your own spouse does.
And see, that's the problem with being too close with someone outside, because you give that person a part of you that you don't give nobody else.
Wow, Lord have mercy.
That's closed off to somebody else. That's closed off to your husband or wife. They can't get to the point where that other person has gotten, because you have allowed them, basically you blocked them to some extent.
Wow.
Because of the trust factor. Because again, we're talking about, it's different when you have, like I said, a long-term best friend that was there before your spouse came. But then it's a whole nother situation where you're married and you're developing this in the marriage. This person is a new person, but they have occupied that emotional space that you'll say things like, well, I can talk to this one about that. I can't talk to you because you don't know how to act or you don't know how to respond. Well, the question to ask yourself is, do I speak the same way to my spouse the way I speak to the person who has the emotional attachment? Because we're not going to say the same way we say it to our spouse most of the time. Like the minister said, Minister Farrakhan has said, you have those sweet words to say to that strange man or that strange woman, but you don't speak that same sweetness to your spouse. So how can you get the same effect when you're responding differently to the two people? Like, oh, you just got a promotion. Ask yourself, who's the first person you call? That will let you know who's top on your list.
Lord have mercy.
Who's the first person you call? Are you calling your husband, your wife? Are you calling, well, maybe sometime we'll call mom and dad first. A lot of us will call mom and dad or our sister or somebody. But the point is, who do you call if it's outside of your immediate family? Are you calling your husband? Are you calling your wife? Or are you calling someone else?
So deep. That's very powerful, brothers and sisters. We're just trying to get you to think a little bit tonight about what's happening in your marriage or in your relationship. Because I can tell you, as somebody who has thought about this a little bit and thought about the way we get down, you know, we deal with adultery a lot in the Nation of Islam. And Minister Farrakhan told us that adultery and infidelity is at the top of the list of things we have to overcome in relationships today.
This one is beset.
He said it was beset with fornication and adultery. I want to read exactly what he said to you, because I want you to know that it's real. Don't think that because we're in the Nation of Islam that, oh, we done blocked the world out and things just don't happen in us. No, they happen, and or at least they can come into your life, and you have to know how to deal with them when they do appear. Minister Farrakhan, our brother in this work, somebody who was trying to save us. Minister Farrakhan is a beautiful companion for what we are trying to do in helping him overcome the stuff that happens naturally in relationships today in 2019.
And it's about guarding ourselves, guarding our personal, disciplining ourselves. And when it comes to those of the opposite sex, and heck, even today, you got to worry about the same sex.
That's exactly right.
and it's sad to say, but you can be approached by somebody that is homosexual and trying to talk to you.
That's exactly right.
So that's, again, you got to have your guard up on so many different levels and asking questions and saying, I'm not comfortable with this or with that. Okay, you going bowling with the guys, but your best friend who's a female, she's going to be there because she's your best friend.
She's your best friend.
Did you ask your wife to go bowling too?
Nope, didn't ask her. Didn't want her to be there. I wanted my friend to be there more than I wanted my wife to be there. I wanted to see my friend's form, her bowl, her bend over. That's what I wanted to see. And so Minister Farrakhan has said to us in this article, it's so powerful, brothers and sisters. And this article is called Our Commitment to Strong Marriage Secures Our Nation. He said, there is no success in building a nation without the building of family. There is no success in the building of family without the respect and honor for the institution of marriage. You got married, brothers and sisters. I don't know who married you. I don't know how you got married, but you got married. And I can tell you that Minister Farrakhan is telling us, he said that we are beset with divorce and the problem of infidelity. And as a result of divorce and infidelity, he said hatred was building between mothers and fathers, which is causing children to suffer. We can talk about many things that are important in life, but nothing is more important or sacred than family and the cornerstone of family, which is marriage. That's what Minister Farrakhan, our beloved brother, is saying to us to get us to think about this that we're doing. All praise is due to Allah. I'm just trying to tell you that opposite sex friendships, you got a beautiful opposite sex friendship going right now with that man. I don't know if you are having an emotional affair. I don't know. I do know this. I do know that it's dangerous for you to continue with this. And affairs can happen at the mosque. They can happen. Many people have been put out because they had an affair during the mosque. Meeting with each other. Clandestine, secret lovers. That's what we are. We shouldn't be together, but we can't say no. Because what we feel is oh so real. You done grown up with that kind of thought in your mind. Having an affair is nothing in 2019 for us to be involved with each other in a sexual way. Sex means nothing in this society. In fact, if you're hungry, you don't have to wonder about how you're going to get your needs felt. There are many people who will oblige you. There are many people, and some of them are your friends. My friends are here for me, and you got to be careful about having close friends. We talk about the close friends.
That's where the treachery comes in at.
Because they say sex with friends is friends with benefits.
Friends with benefits.
That's what they call it. They call it having sex with your friend is a friend with benefits.
Call you when I need you.
And when do I need you? I need you at 3 o'clock in the morning. 3 o'clock in the morning, you come on over here and you come give me what I want. Give me what I need. I need you to give me that good loving.
Oh my God.
I mean, this is what friends are saying to each other, because you are connected now with a member of the opposite sex in a way that your husband don't know, in a way that your wife don't even know that you connected. And are you leaving for the papers at 3 o'clock in the morning? 4 o'clock in the morning? You doing a paper call at 3, 4 in the morning?
No, he's a 24-hour plumber.
24-hour plumber, right? Okay, yes, sir. You plumbing all right, brother.
plumber. He is a plumber.
You are plumbing, all right. I want you to think about this.
She gotta go food shopping at 3 in the morning.
Wow, gotta go food shopping.
Yeah, milk ran. We ran out of milk.
And you gotta get it right now.
I gotta get it at 3 in the morning.
3 in the morning.
I gotta get some milk, some eggs to make the children breakfast in the morning.
See, look at that. You're a good mama. This is what your husband thinking. What a good wife I'm having. What a good wife. What a good husband. He wants to get the truth to the people at 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning. He's leaving out the house in my warm bed. He's leaving out to go get the truth to the peoples at 3 or 4 in the morning. See, this is advanced relationship stuff that we're talking about tonight, brothers and sisters.
It's guarding out, even with being married, it's guarding your vows, guarding yourself, because the world is designed to help you fail in marriage.
It really is.
It is designed for there not to exist marriage. Everybody be a free for all. If you want it, get it, whenever, however, wherever. This is what this world is designed for, to be disciplined, to not be a quote-unquote, how freaky are you?
Wow, Lord have mercy.
I'm listening, and I'm listening to people, and I'm like, we have lost our mind.
That's exactly right.
The stuff I hear, I said, the other day at work, some girls were talking, and for those who don't know, I work at a call center. And they were talking. The conversation made me lose for 3 minutes. I could not breathe. I lost my breath. And I said, I could not believe. And it was so casual, like it was normal.
That's right. That's right. It's normal.
Normal behavior. And I'm like, if this is normal behavior in 2019, if we don't grab a hold of ourselves and catch ourselves, we are acting like beasts and savages, as if Master Farad Muhammad did not come.
That's right.
As if the most honorable Elijah Muhammad is not alive and present and in power. As if the minister is not warning us of what will happen. The chastisement of God is real, and we are out here doing things that we know better. You know you married. Why you give that brother your number? Why you give that sister your number? And you know they like you more than just a friend. Oh, you married? Oh, that don't mean nothing to me. You a challenge. Oh, and then it's the question. You say today, I'm married. And they say, are you happily married?
That's right.
And if I said I wasn't, what you gonna do about it?
Then you gave me my turn right there.
You see what I'm saying? This world is designed to help us to fail in marriage. That's what it's designed to.
And then you go back home to your husband.
With a package.
With a package. You can have a package or not. I mean, I might be clean. I might be a clean person. But you might have a little package.
You're talking about STDs. Going home and giving your spouse STDs because we're out here doing stuff, because we are fulfilling a need of a sexual appetite.
That's very true. And we've heard stories. People have called us who they picked up an STD from their husband, their wife creeping out there.
Yeah, that's real.
It's real stuff, brothers and sisters. Don't think, oh, this is not real. This doesn't go on. It really does go on. And you out there trying to get you a piece that your wife don't know nothing about, your husband don't know nothing about, but you could pick up a package out there from somebody who just send you home with a little something extra for your spouse.
The enemy is so real, and if we don't know it today, they can send somebody on your job purposely to help destroy your marriage.
That's right.
Purposely.
This is something you have to think about, brothers and sisters. Honestly, we're saying it to you, and I have a letter here. It's brief, but they wrote me to talk about this thing, and it's so powerful what they had to say. May I read it, Cecilia?
Yes, Marcus, please read it.
All right. Y'all ready for it? This is what the person had to tell me. My husband is constantly texting a female coworker. He says they're just friends and that they only talk about work, but he's always laughing and smiling when he's texting her. What do I do, Brother Marcus and Sister Cecilia? Cecilia, you take that first. I know what to do with that.
I mean, again, that's borderline. That is borderline.
He's saying that they're only texting about work. So what are you worried about it for?
Honey, let's have dinner and invite her over.
Okay, all right. And so what are you going to do?
Oh, we're going to have dinner and see, because when someone is constantly texting someone and it's just work, well, let me see if it's really just work. Let's have them over for dinner at the house.
Okay.
Because you won't pick up any vibes that are not right.
Okay.
Now, if they apprehensive about them coming over for dinner and they're just co-workers,
right,
then I'd have a red flag.
Okay, all right. So you would actually engage this.
Oh, I'm going to engage it because if you're telling me that you're just working, because again, if you're co-workers and you're just working, then hey, you can come over for dinner. Come on over for dinner.
So you wouldn't try to stop it at all?
I ain't going to stop it at first because, again, it's just texting for work. That's what he said. He's texting her because she's a coworker. Okay. So we want to see what kind of coworker it is. Because if you're just working, then you're going to see like a non kind of physical, like if she touching his shoulder, touching his hands, then you too comfortable. You too comfortable touching my spouse. Now, if you can sit there and laugh and joke and talk and okay, it's certain vibes we're going to pick up.
Okay, now that's very powerful.
And vice versa with a wife who may travel a lot and she may have certain co-workers that she travels a lot with. Same thing, let's have dinner. Let's go out to dinner, let's whatever, because you want to see with your own eyes what's really going on.
Mm-hmm. This is very powerful to really think about, because now you're talking about bringing him around, bringing her around. Suppose you do find something is going on.
Then that's when you're going to confront your spouse.
About what?
About what you see.
What are you going to tell him?
What you mean what I'm going to tell him? The evidence shows that this looks like more than you just being co-workers.
Okay.
Her hands were too friendly on your body.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Paul! And she just touching your shoulders and laughing and
So, I have a different perspective on that.
Okay.
My perspective is, I guess when I only had one tool in the tool belt, which was Hulk smash. That was my immediate reaction to the issue. But I can see your side of it. Okay, I can see that. Maybe that's a better way of coming at it.
What's the Hulk smash method?
The Hulk smash method is smash. Okay, we're going to smash this out of our lives. We're going to smash him. I will find out what the hell's going on between. I'm gonna go watch you. I'm a clandestine person. I'll be and watch you.
You gonna follow her?
I'm gonna follow her. I'm a stalker. I'm a stalker. I'm gonna find out about what she's doing out there with him. Are they having lunch together? What's going on? Brothers and sisters, I'm telling you. This is very powerful when you really think about it, because if you really love the person,
right, you
would probably freak out a little bit.
Yeah.
And they telling you to be calm. Oh, this is just this and that. And if the shoe was on the opposite foot, that you wouldn't just be talking with this person as beautiful as my wife is. I'd be trying to, here too. I'd be looking, okay, what we doing out here? What's really happening out here? You my friend, I'm texting you, and then I'm enjoying texting you too.
And laughing.
And joking. And you seeing that? Oh, I already know what that's going to be. That's going to be hell for me down the road a little bit. I'm just saying, y'all, you got to really think about this. Your husband is happily texting another woman. Y'all work together, quote unquote. Ain't that much work in the world. That's what you told me. You tell me that it ain't that much work in the world.
Oh, you know, I said I shut that down quick.
Quick. You shut it down quick, fast, in a hurry. I just want y'all to know that if you ever come across this situation in your personal life, don't entertain it for any length of time. Shut it down quick, because your relationship might be hanging in the balance. That's something to really think about, what we're saying to you tonight. Is your relationship going to hang in the balance because you didn't shut it down real quick? You know, or you entertained it? You met with him? You didn't see nothing really was going on, but you really not sure. You know, whenever another man comes into the picture, your antenna should be raised. You should be, okay, what's going on? You got a repairman that keep coming to your house. What are you coming here for? What's going on? And sister, if you're a good woman, you should be, if he's coming to your house, you should make yourself unavailable. You should be somewhere where he's not. Go into your room until he leaves, until your husband should be the one interacting with all of the males who come to your house. I'm telling you that. Now, if that's not the case, then that's a problem. You got a problem right there. If you can't get him to do his duty as a man to you as a woman, you know, you got men in your house and repair men and this man, that man, and your husband comfortable with you interacting with them as your wife. You his wife, but he got you out front dealing with the men that come into your house. That's wrong. That's not good to do, brothers. I just want to say that to you to think about what I'm saying to you. All right? So, you know, that's something that you're going to have to work on, you know, because while there are a lot of ways to screw up a marriage, spouses who have close opposite sex friendships are toying with one of the riskiest and most short-sighted behaviors that commonly lead to infidelity and ultimately divorce. All right? So when you talking about texting a co-worker, a female co-worker, or a male co-worker, and you happily doing it and you in front of your wife, you ain't hiding nothing, but you still happily doing it. Ain't no begrudging thing to text them. You happily texting them. Oh, look at what I'm doing. Right in front of your face. Don't you see what I'm doing? And you okay with that? As a wife or as a husband, your spouse texting another person? Who they texting? You should be all in their cell. Okay, let me look at this text and see what y'all really talking about.
So that's why I say you got to be open and be honest.
You really do. If you're going to be in 2019, you can't have a relationship where you got a lock on your cell phone. He lock his cell phone, you lock your phone.
What you hiding?
What you hiding?
If your spouse don't have your password, it's like, what are you hiding? Because you have there's no such thing as a coincidence. That's what we're taught. There's no such thing as a coincidence. My phone can ring right now. My husband pick up my phone. His phone ring, I pick up his phone. Now, if you doing a 50-yard dash across the house to get your phone because you don't want nobody else to pick it up, why are you having that kind of behavior? Is this something in your phone or a call that's coming in that would be detrimental to your relationship?
That's something to think about.
Because these cell phones have become a hot mess for marriages and relationships.
They really have. That's really true what you're saying, Cecilia. We have to be mindful when we buy a phone, especially with the children. The children on the phone 3, 4 in the morning, 2, 3 in the morning. They on the phone. Who they talking to?
My best friend.
And who your best friend?
Opposite sex.
So you got to be mindful. What are they talking about? Not no 2 and 3 in the morning. You talking to him? Or what y'all talking about? Mm-hmm. At 2, 3 in the morning, the only thing I know that you could be talking about is getting some, or him giving him some, or him getting some from you.
No, we're just friends.
Okay, I don't hear that.
We laugh, we talk. It's nothing sexual, sir.
Yeah, okay. I don't want to hear that. I heard that, Minister Farrakhan told his daughter, he said, I don't trust nature.
Thank you.
I don't trust nature. And
No matter how old you are.
You got to be very mindful of that in 2019. You got all these people in your life, but you got to be mindful of who is viewing me and what way are they viewing me.
And that's interesting. I was talking about that just last week. The conversation was about singles, and I was like, well, we're in the nation, we do courtship. And one of the girls said, well, if you older, why you need a courtship? I said, you don't trust nature.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're 40, 50, 60, 80 years old, nature still functions.
Mm-hmm.
You still need someone to be a chaperone, to be there with you around those type of situations, because nature is nature.
Nature is nature.
Especially if there's attraction there.
That's right. That's very, very true. And all it takes is a little bit. Young people nowadays, they don't even need a lot of time. And the car is a choice. If you have a car and you give your daughter, your son the car, you better check that smell. You better check that in the car. You better find out what was going on in this car.
No, you better chaperone it if you can.
If you can now, if you're not going to chaperone it, you better know something might happen.
Chaperone.
Now, I got another letter here from a person who wrote me. And this was a man who wrote this. You know, he told me that he knows his wife is always texting or is on Facebook with her personal trainer.
Her personal trainer, okay.
Now, she locks her cell phone and has changed her online passwords. And if I ask her, who is she talking to, she freaks out and says, I'm being paranoid, jealous, and controlling. Brother Marcus is saying, what do I do?
I think we already touched on that one. That's questionable behavior. It's suspicious. If it looks suspicious, we have to knock it out. We have to destroy this look of suspicion. Your moral character is being questioned. You have a personal trainer that's probably the opposite sex.
Of course.
And all of a sudden now, your spouse had access to your phone, could pick it up, whatever. But now you get a personal trainer. Now you lock your phone and you change your online passwords. All of a sudden, when this personal trainer comes into play. So how does that look to your spouse?
That's right. That's exactly right.
That is the utmost of suspicion.
That's right.
Because you didn't have this behavior before the personal trainer. But now with the personal trainer, now you have this behavior.
And what is the husband thinking?
And then she's gonna say, "Oh, you're just being jealous and controlling."
Yeah, and paranoid.
I want to control that which is in my orbit. Yes, I would like to know why your behavior has changed. There's no such thing as a coincidence. And see, that's the thing I think sometimes is that we think we're so smart that we're stupid.
That's true.
And especially if we're in the Nation of Islam and we're striving to be righteous, our self-accusing spirit is always on top. It's always going to be functioning at a high level if we're studying and praying and doing what we're supposed to do. Even somebody who's not doing that, they still have the self-accusing spirit that's going to let them know something ain't right.
Wow.
Something ain't right here. This ain't right. So to tell somebody that they're being jealous and controlling when your behavior dictates that something is not right. Mm-hmm. And that anyone could see that something is suspicious. Even if you're not doing anything, your behavior warrants suspicion.
Wow. And you know, we have to be honest about this. You know, when we're talking today, we're trying to really give you some things to think about. You know, think about what you're doing. You know, if your relationship is today is in a difficult place. Think about what you're doing that has it in the difficult place that it's in. Because we don't want you to think that we are people who are talking to you today because we are so righteous. We are people who are trying to help you to not fall victim to this stuff that's out here. We want you to really understand that if you entertaining this friend, now I'm not saying if it's just a friend, if it's just a male friend, a female friend, you see them casually, hey, how you doing? Good to see you. I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. If it's not we friends, me and her as friends.
A friend and an associate, two different things.
I think that's true.
What you're saying about every now and again, that's an associate. A friend, oh, we hang out together, we can have the weekend, we go to the away for the weekend, we gonna have a good time. If we're gonna do a party, a get together, anything, that person is always there. Mm-hmm. They're like that type of friend we're talking about, that type of friend that they know your mama, your grandma, they know them by first name. I mean, that person has been there a long time.
Mm. That's very, very, very true. And when the self-accusing spirit is awakening in you and you got a friend, if it's been awakened, if the self-accusing spirit has been awakened and you have a friend now, you got a male friend, a female friend, and you think things have gone too far. Maybe he's thinking something about you that's not true, sister. Maybe she's thinking something about you, brother, that's not true. Maybe you've allowed this friendship to go on so long that they think it's inevitable that y'all gonna get together and do something. Why don't you call a reassessment meeting with this person, with that person, and let them know straight up and down, ain't nothing getting ready to happen right here. Not that we don't want to happen. No, you gotta make it plain to them that there's nothing that's getting ready to happen right here because I love my wife. I love my partner. And in this world, it's very rare that you get a partner like my wife, my loved one. And I thought things were going a little bit crazy with you and me, and I want to make sure I'm going to clear the air because there ain't nothing getting ready to happen here. That's why you got to talk if you want to be able and safely get through that challenge to your marriage, because that person is encroaching on your marriage.
If you allow it.
If you allow it, but you know you have allowed it for a year or 2 or 3. This person got into your life, and they might be sent to get in your life like that. That's the other thing about it. They might be sent by the enemy to take you down. Never think the enemy's hand is not in this thing. This could be something that the enemy is looking forward to bringing you down to nothing because you got this opposite sex friendship in your life. And you think it's just a coincidence that they showed up at the time that they showed up in your life. And it's always when you was having trouble with the marriage. Always when you and her was not getting along too well, too good. You were withdrawing from your spouse. This is something to think about. And you had emotional distance from your spouse. That's when they showed up, this person, you know, in your life.
Or that's when they call them.
That's when you call them?
That's when they call them. When they mad at their husband or wife, that's the person they run to or call.
Wow.
I gotta tell you what this so-and-so did to me or whatever.
My husband tripping. My wife tripping right now. Man, she tripping hard. Let me tell you. And the person's ear just perk up. They tripping. What you mean?
Yep.
They listening to you and giving you a platform to voice all your disagreements in your marriage, in your relationship. And they're listening to you, and they can become the exact opposite of what you say. You said you didn't like when your wife did this, they become the exact opposite of that. They'll cast themselves in that light to you. I'm thinking about this. You better think about what I'm saying to you if you want to be successful in 2019.
But the bottom line is, whatever friends we have, they become a part of the family. They're a family friend now. They're not just your friend. They're a family friend. Like I said, I'm talking about the long-term relationships where they've been there. Now, that person that you just met a month ago or 2 months ago or 6 months ago and you become emotionally attached, that's a whole nother situation.
This is very deep. I just tell you this, and I just want you to look at your friends, the ones you got in your marriage right now, the ones you got around you right now, all your male friends as a woman. All your male friends. You know, Chris Rock said that he didn't believe in platonic relationships, that men and women couldn't be friends.
I believe in that too. Because after a while, somebody gonna like somebody more than just a friend.
Wow.
It's inevitable.
I mean, it always starts so innocently. The two of you have just connected. And you have a lot in common as you keep on talking to her or to him. And before you know it, you start looking forward to more encounters with this person, with this friend of yours. Now, your wife, your husband don't know nothing about this friend. Mm-hmm. That's the danger in it right there. If you can't talk to your spouse about this friend, this man friend, this woman friend in your life, if you're hiding texts from this female friend, this male friend, you don't want nobody to know about him, her, then you got a problem on your hands.
If you gotta do it in secret, something wrong.
That's something to think about, my family, my brothers, my sisters. And you finding yourself, you know, you feel like you got a kindred spirit with them, but it's a slippery slope that you're on when this close friendship with the opposite sex, and this person is not a member of your family. This is not your friend, your cousin or somebody like that.
You gotta be careful of them too.
And you gotta be careful of that too. Yeah, that's right. Because they hit too.
You gotta
male cousins, they certainly do hit. That's exactly right. In fact, it's encouraged in some communities. You know? But I will say this to you. You know, your frequent conversations with this friend, quote unquote, they're like cords of a rope. Each one making the connection stronger and more intimate. And your longing for more interactions is evidence of your desire to know this person more, and this is dangerous territory. I'm talking to men, I'm talking to women out here in internet radio land. As you listen to me tonight, think about what I'm saying to you. And as a man and as a woman, it is only natural for this connection to continue to progress to a physical or sexual relationship over time, unless you are intentional about putting some boundaries in place and creating distance between you and your friend. Because y'all love to say that. This is my friend, my man friend.
Or the famous one, I don't have women friends. Women are too messy. I have men friends. I've heard that from countless women. I said, well, welcome to MGT, where you now learn to have some women friends.
That's right. Now, we opened up the phone lines. We don't want nobody to call and confess that they broke the law or something like that. But we want the lines to be open for you because, you know, in these last few minutes of the show, we want you to talk about friendship with us. So just press *6 on your phone if you want in on this conversation and you want to talk with us tonight about friendship with men, friendship with women. Can men and women be friends? If you believe that, call in tonight. We want to hear from you. All right? All praise is due to Allah. That's so powerful, though. You know, And I don't tell you all that we're telling you tonight to make you feel bad about the choices that you've made. We tell you these truths to warn you and keep you from doing something that could devastate your marriage. If you have a friend like this, then you should do whatever it takes to put some distance between you and create some healthy boundaries and fight for your marriage. And go home and connect with your spouse, not this friend. You know, I just want to make that clear that we got a caller who's calling in tonight with a 651 area code 325, 651 area code 325. We want to welcome you to the show. How you doing tonight, ma'am?
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Yes, of course, I'm calling from my wife's phone. We're on date night with Marcus and Cecilia.
Yes, sir.
Going into our heavy third year.
Allahu Akbar. The year of trial.
My question is a question of clarification.
Okay.
In the nation, we not only go from the Bible, we not only come from the Quran, but sometimes we got to break out a dictionary.
Uh-huh.
So we want to be clear on these words. So, Brother Marcus and Cecilia,
Okay.
your humble brother is asking, can you define friend? Can you define acquaintance and workplace friend
Okay.
and close friend? You know, all those aspects that you all were speaking on. Can you all just give the definition? Because somebody might not be clear and the lines might be blurred on this or that.
Okay.
You know, give some definitions to those terms and words.
All right. That's a very good question, brother. Thank you very much for calling and asking us about this, because we definitely want to be clear tonight. So, a friend.
A person whom one knows and with whom one has a bond of mutual affection, typically exclusive of sexual or family relations. A companion, a best friend, intimate confidant, a soulmate. They even put synonym of soulmate here for a friend. All right. That's friend. An acquaintance.
That's a friend. You know, that's something to really think about. You know, because for somebody to be your friend, you should really ask yourself, what makes this person? Can anybody be my friend? You know, can anybody be my friend?
And then you have an acquaintance, a person's knowledge or experience of something, a person one knows slightly, but who is not a close friend. They're a contact, an associate, a connection, a colleague.
All right, that's what an acquaintance is. So you could be somebody's acquaintance, but not necessarily their friend.
An acquaintance you probably won't have in your phone unless you do a lot of networking.
Now, a close friend is it's getting a little closer now. Now, a close friend is what we just described to you as a friend. They are somebody that is attached to another by affection or esteem. For instance, you might say so-and-so is my best friend. All right? The close friend, from what we see here, is not going to be an acquaintance. That's somebody that's in your circle of friends. And they are somebody that you probably going to be having a good experience with. Somebody you're close to, somebody who you've allowed.
Because like most of us, a close friend is somebody who you put in some years knowing. It's not like a fly-by-night person you just met. but a close friend. They have built a relationship of closeness over time, where if they wanted to go to the movies, or we gonna do this, or we gonna go on a vacation for the weekend, that's that close friend that you would invite.
Now, I don't know anybody you should be close to or close to in relationships other than your wife or your husband. I don't know if you should be close to friends, because then you're gonna move into some trouble. You got a woman that's not your wife that you're close to. We're close. We've moved so as to bar passage through something. We've been through something. That's what makes us close.
And co-workers are people who you work with, and depending on your co-worker, you're there however long. If you're there 40 hours, if you work a 40-hour week, you're around that person for 40 hours every week. That's your co-worker. You work together in that environment, but then how close that co-worker becomes depend on what all y'all do together. After work, do you hang out?
It's also confined or carefully guarded, this relationship that you got with this person that you're close to. You carefully guarding the relationship because you don't want nothing to happen to that relationship. It also has another meaning where it's secret, secluded, secretive. This is another definition of close. This is stuff that you got to think about as we're talking to you tonight. We don't want anyone to think for a minute that you can have a female friend or co-worker that you are in this close relationship with and things are not going to happen with them. Because a co-worker is one who works with another fellow worker. That's the definition of co-worker.
Went out for drinks.
With her co-workers after work. So, we want you to think about what we're saying, co-worker. We want you to think about you got co-workers on your job, people you're close to, people who touch you. They touch your backside.
Huh?
People who,
they ain't no coworker.
No, I'm just talking about co-workers. You might have a co-worker that touch your backside every now and then, massage your shoulders for you.
That ain't no co-worker.
No, what is that? That's my co-worker.
No.
Why? She can't touch me?
No.
Not like that?
No.
Why?
You're there to work, not to be touching my spouse.
See, that's something to think about, y'all. That's something to think about.
Again, when someone is putting their hands on you,
that feel good.
Stop it. When someone's putting your hands on, that's an intimate act where they are now comfortable enough and allowed into a zone to even touch you.
But now we got people on the line. They allow this all the time.
I don't know about that.
People on the line, they allow people to touch them. Their person. They feel like these are co-workers. Oh, my co-workers, I'm fine with them touching me like that.
No.
Why you being all mean and
hey,
whatnot?
How you doing? Give you
a pound?
Give you a pound. That's what I do. Give you a pound. If I let you even get that close with a pound.
That's very deep when you think about it. But I hope that it answered your question, Brother Seven. That we yes, sir, brother.
Oh, I didn't know I was still on the line.
Oh, you're still on, brother.
No. Yes, it does. Because, like I said, for clarity, like you said, people on this line might be having that work association where it don't mean nothing. And going back to Sister Cecilia's point, okay, if they just a co-worker, if it ain't nothing, come on over here for dinner.
Wow.
Where, that comfortability come in. Like, oh, he's so smart, rubbing your head, and it's like, I know how smart my husband is, and his wife is smart enough to tell you, it's true.
All praise is due to Allah. Thank you, Brother Sam. We appreciate you. All praise is due to Allah. tonight we're dealing with the real truth, the actual facts of being involved with a person of the opposite sex. And I don't know, again, I don't know if you can appreciate the discussion that we're having tonight. You might think that you have platonic friendships. You might think that ain't nothing wrong with what we doing. But I'm just saying to you that if you got a friend, a male friend, a female friend, has it become unhealthy? You know, because you have to understand the reality of potential problems. You know, it's important to understand that certain situations exist that can be a detriment to marriage, emotional affairs, physical affairs, and even simple flirtatiousness are a few examples. Are you flirtatious with your friends? As a woman, as a man, are you too flirty? You know, the females who you work with, you call them co-workers, but are you flirting with them as a man? Could they say of you that you are flirtatious with them?
But what's flirtatious behavior? I just told him his butt looked good in them pants.
See, now that's flirtatious.
That's sexual harassment too.
Wow, see, that's flirt. You cannot comment on anybody's
Body part?
body parts. That's certainly going to be, we're going to talk about sexual harassment in just a little, not today, but we're going to get into it because it's something we got to be aware of.
Gotta help, and every job you go on, you going through that course on what is considered sexual harassment.
You cannot do it, you know, but you gotta understand, you know, ask yourself that question: are you flirtatious as a man, as a woman?
I ain't touching them. I'm just talking.
See, that's very powerful, you know. And I want to ask you again, you know, as you go through your day, think about whether or not you are flirtatious or you just friendly. You know?
And people can take friendly as being, even if you friendly and it's not flirtatious, somebody who's hungry, they may take it as flirtatious.
See, flirtatious people, they'll make prolonged eye contact with you. You know, the Holy Quran bids us as Muslims to keep the looks cast down.
That's right.
That's what it asks us to do. Keep the looks cast down. When I joined the Nation of Islam, sisters didn't even look in my eyes. I was like, damn, I was trying to catch their eye. None of them would look at me. None of them. I said, damn. That's something to think about, brother and sister.
See, there you go. There you go. Physical contact, touching you.
But when they make physical contact, that's a sign of flirtation.
Yeah, want to touch your shoulders.
You know, the most common example of flirting that's not friendly is gradually getting physically closer to the other person.
Want to get in your space.
Get in your space.
Stay away.
That's something to think about. You know, that's a big hint that somebody's flirting with you. When he says that, you know, you go beyond just a brush against your arm or hand, and if they last a little longer or the person gets into your personal space a little more than what's being expected, that's like flirting with you. You know, why are you all in my personal space? This is my personal space. And you have to be assertive as a woman, as a man, about your personal space. You know, and if someone physically, their physical proximity or touchy gestures makes you feel uncomfortable and you're not sure how to speak up, then you got to respectfully decline them. You know, I don't really appreciate what you're doing, touching me like that. I don't like that at all. Please don't do that no more. One time from a woman does it for a man. Be very mindful of that. Another way that you can find somebody being flirty is they'll ask more in-depth questions.
That ain't none of your business.
Flirty has an agenda that friendly doesn't have. And as a result, friendly conversations are more casual, while in a flirty one, the person has a slightly more intense interest in getting to know you and getting close to you. So be mindful of that. You know, don't ask questions if you don't want the answers to those questions. All right, here's another reason to be very conscious of this attitude of flirtation. Look at the context of the conversation. You know, people who are flirting don't limit their conversations to the weather.
Nope.
And often flirts are not afraid to go there. Once the topic is sex, playfully and otherwise enters the equation, it's a clear crossing of the line from friendly to flirty. So be mindful of that, you know, as you move on. And they'll give you other non-verbal cues that they're flirting with you. You know, they may purse their lips when you smile at them, play with their hair, or adjust their clothing.
Lord have mercy.
You know, these are happening subconsciously, but they send the signal that you're interested in more than just small talk or coffee. You know, I just want you all as MGT to be mindful of this, you know, because this is that type of stuff. Men are not so forward. They might be coming at you underneath the realm that you perceive them being flirtatious with. Then they can start complimenting you as another sign.
Jill, can you stay back? We got that report due tomorrow.
When someone is complimentary, it can be easy to perceive it as a flirtation, but you have to watch their actions. Are they position their body nearer to you with an open body posture? Do they lean in? More is said with these cues or along with verbal ones, you know, and they'll make it a point to tell you that they're single and they're ready to mingle. You know, unless you're revealing your relationship status, puts you on a level playing field, or makes the conversation even more exciting and intriguing to the other person. Think about what we're saying to you. You know, if you don't want to lose their romantic interest by being honest about who you are, think about what we're saying, because you're not invested in what they're saying to you. You know, you don't care if they're single or not. That's not your business. You want to be very clear about this.
But why are they telling you that?
You know, somebody playfully teasing you, or they'll give you all of their focus. You know, another thing that you gotta be mindful of is if a person is friendly to everyone, they'll make a special effort with you, and then it's safe to assume that you are interested and you also are flirting. You know, so we want to talk about today about being flirtatious and then somebody flirting with you, because you could have that going on at the same time. You could have somebody who peeped you out and is flirting with you. Every day you look forward to talking to this person, but they're not your court mate.
They're not your spouse.
They're not your spouse. But I'm looking forward to him. I want to see I know what time he's coming online. I know what time he's going to be there. And I know that if he's there at a certain time and I'm online, then he's going to make contact with me. That's something to think about. You know, do you want that, my brothers and sisters? Do you want that in your life to happen to you? You know, and so that's what we're asking you today as we get ready to conclude. We're asking you to be mindful of this thing that we asked in this question. Is a spouse permitted to have close friends of the opposite sex? And so tonight we try to give you as much as we could on whether we thought that way or not. You know, you got to be very mindful. I'm telling you from experience, be very mindful of whether or not you're going to keep somebody around you who's a member of the opposite sex, because you don't know what their intentions are. You know, they might start off good. It might start off righteous. It might start off with nothing's going to happen. But again, do you trust nature like that? Do you trust her nature, the nature of a woman, to be in your space as a man and nothing happened? Same thing for a woman. You might say, well, he's just a friend. But do you trust the nature of a man? He's a man. At the end of the day, that is a man that you're trusting, and you got to be mindful of that. You know, you got to be sure that this is exactly what this looks like, and we are casual friends, and you got to define it. You got to make sure that everybody knows that I'm not no free-for-all type of woman or no man. I don't get down like that. You my acquaintance here at the job, but after we leave this job, I don't go to no parties. I don't do nothing with y'all after this job because I understand how things are. I know the nature of relationships. I know.
They love going to drink.
Oh yeah, I know how it goes.
All right, we're going. Hey, come on, we're going to get some drinks. Okay.
And Lord knows you get out there on the drink, and that's what people love to do. They love to get you
drunk.
when you drunk, when you ain't thinking about.
Say I don't drink. I don't.
Tomorrow, when you ain't thinking about it, that's when they'll come. That's when every time it happens, it happens just like that. Mm-hmm. They come.
Yep.
So Cecilia, give us some closing thoughts to think about as we let this topic go.
Closing comments. Thank you so much for coming on to the show, to participating tonight. Closing comment. Guard our morals. Guard our morals. If our instincts tell us something ain't right, follow your instincts. Do not ignore those instincts that kick in immediately, whether it's concerning yourself or your spouse. Be able to see it, know it, and okay, we got to discuss this because this don't look right. Did our behavior change? Why did our behavior change? What was going on? That situation with the lady and the personal trainer, prime example. It switched up too quick. What's going on? We got to look at it, examine it, talk about it. Let's not jump to conclusion. And if it's been a long time friend, it becomes the family friend.
That's right.
We love you, we thank you, and you have a wonderful evening, and be watching for the slinking devil outside and inside your own self.
Man, I'm telling you, that's very powerful, you know, and we just want to ask you again to think about what we've said tonight. I hope it wasn't too hard for you. We wanted to make sure that you knew that we are trying our best to represent Minister Farrakhan in the best way, and we know this topic is difficult to get through, but I want to let you all know that God willing, in a couple of weeks we will be going to St. Louis, God willing, and the topic is we're going to be there for 2 days or 2 or 3 days. And on Father's Day, actually, the Father's Day topic, actually it's Friday, June 21st, we're going to talk about, the theme is We Belong Together. And that's going to be for the singles, Friday, June 21st, and then Saturday, June 22nd, the same thing, We Belong Together, which is going to be the marriage portion. And then Sunday, June 23rd, we will be speaking on the Sunday lecture, and we'll have questions and answers with our brothers and sisters there in St. Louis, and we want you all to know that that's coming up very soon with the help of Almighty God Allah. We also would like to let you know that we are going to be having the marriage retreat coming up very shortly in the month of August 2019. We're going to do the marriage retreat